Have you ever felt so tired in your faith that you just want to quit, like nothing you do ever really changes, like even God feels far away? That's what we call spiritual burnout. In this video, we'll look at Elijah under the broom tree. He was depressed, exhausted, he even wished he could die. Through his story, we'll discover 3 self-healing ways to overcome spiritual burnout in real, everyday life. Let's dive in. Elijah the prophet who fought such a great battle, why does he now want to die? Why does he only want to sleep? Was it fear? That's what I was taught in church. But something feels off. Would he really fear Jezebel's threat? If he had been afraid of death, he could never have faced the prophets of Baal on Mount Carmel.
You're right. He was not afraid of death. He actually wanted death. Was he then afraid of Jezebel? No, he was exhausted by a reality that never changed. Those who never fought will never know this exhaustion, but those who fight long battles like Elijah come to know it well. After great victories, Elijah longed to stop fighting. He wished to die so he would not have to fight anymore. No more persecution, no more pain from watching Israel under Ahab's rule. Anyone who carries out my work in difficult times will sometimes be struck all at once with this weariness, this sense of emptiness and fatigue. See, he is not simply afraid for his life. He is crying out about Israel's miserable reality. Baal worship had consumed the nation. The altars of the Lord were torn down. My prophets were slaughtered. The people despised my servants and followed false priests. That was his grief.
Elijah says, I'm the only one left, and they're trying to kill me too. He feels reality never changes no matter how hard he fights. He feels utterly alone. No one stands with him. No one cheers him on. Everyone follows Baal while he alone says no. When people cannot bear reality, they sometimes long for death. They fall into a kind of mental sleep. They know problems exist. They know they're not okay. Yet they wear a mask or poker face because their society expects it. That too is a kind of mental sleep.
But when you wake up, you must face reality again. That's why many choose to live in that sleep. They fool themselves. They adopt the shape of the world around them and call it their true self. If society says pleasure is right, they embrace pleasure. If society values seriousness and asceticism, they wear that mask. All of it is sleep. And today, both believers and unbelievers live much of their lives in this kind of sleep.
Like the red pill or the blue pill? Like reality or illusion?
Exactly. Many build their own illusion and call it reality. They live asleep, but you must wake them. You must bring them back to the painful reality they do not want to face. You know their reluctance to wake up. That's why you can show compassion. I am waking you up so you can wake them up. You will comfort them when they cry as they return to reality. I am preparing my remnant through you for the battles ahead. Anyone who serves will get tired. To never feel weary in a harsh reality would not be normal.
When burnout comes, how do we escape it quickly?
Even if you do not want to see reality, you must return to it. What did I say to Elijah?
The Lord said, go out and stand on the mountain in the presence of the Lord, for the Lord is about to pass by.
Exactly. Coming out of the cave means facing reality again. Standing on the mountain means praying in my presence. Many modern psychologists tell people not to face reality but to distract themselves with other interests. They do this because the true cause is unknown. Or even if it is known, it cannot be solved right away. So they offer temporary relief, just a way to get by. But the problem never really goes away. It only seems hidden for a moment. And even if you know the root cause, most of the time you cannot fix it yourself. Only I, the Lord, can truly solve it. I resolved Elijah's problem right away. He truly wanted to retire, and I respected his desire. So I told him to go and anoint his successors, the ones who would carry on his work. Did he go back to sleep in the cave? No. He woke up and trained Elisha with passion. He realized he was not alone. He thought he was the only one left. But I raised up Hazael, Jehu, and Elisha, his co-workers. Together they would bring change. And by raising Elisha as a prophet, he finally saw hope that he could step back and retire as he wished. Yes, you too thought it was just a fear problem, just like so many others, right? It was not. It wasn't fear of death. It was the crushing weight of carrying ministry alone, the weariness and frustration of a reality that never seemed to change, and the longing to finally step away and retire. I love you, daughter. Few ask me questions this persistently. I delight when you do.
I first listened to the Lord's voice and then I went back to check the original text. 1 Kings 19:3 in most translations says, Elijah was afraid and ran for his life. But when I looked at the Hebrew, the literal meaning was when he saw, he arose and ran for his life. It was not afraid, but saw. Translators softened it into afraid to make the flow easier. The Hebrew word ka'ah means to see. On this channel, I encourage those who have experienced church hurt or religious trauma to first meet God in His Word. Receive His comfort there before you begin analyzing the text. That way, both heart and mind can be trained in balance. When you're weary from religion, the most important thing is to directly receive God's love. You need to hear Him say, I love you, again and again, until that empty place inside starts to be filled. So when you pray, pour out your feelings honestly, then take time to listen to hear His words of love spoken into your heart. If your soul is empty, forcing yourself to keep up church life or ministry will not release God's love to others. It will only be your own effort. Remember, it is not our religious zeal that gives life to us and those around us. It is God's love flowing naturally. Some Bible scholars say the scriptures are not a love letter, but only objective data about God. Yes, in seminaries, this is often how it's taught. And analysis is valuable, of course, but more important than information is the heart. Try receiving the Bible first as God's personal love letter to you. Take it as food for your soul before you dissect it as data, because you must eat to live. And that's why I say, hear His comfort first, then study and analyze. That rhythm brings balanced growth. So when you pray or open the Bible, let your heart be filled with His love and comfort before anything else. It doesn't matter if you've believed for 1 day or 50 years or 100. No one can live without having their soul's need for love met. Even the most seasoned servant of God is not free from this. Every soul longs to be loved, and only the Lord's love can fill that emptiness. Elijah's depression and weariness and Samson's desperate thirst both come from the same emptiness. We humans tend to think we must do something religious to please God. I do it too, and everyone does. It's a kind of natural instinct. But God is clear. True spiritual growth is not about religious duty, but it's about freedom that comes from His perfect love. Building His church is not about obligation. It's about growth in love, and true growth gives us freedom, the freedom to love without fear. So let yourself be deeply loved by the Lord. Rest in it. Don't force yourself into religious routines like church attendance out of duty, Bible reading without joy, or ministry as a job that only drains you. Don't turn God's love into a paycheck or into a tool of control. Even if you do nothing, He still loves you. Of course, you know this in your head very well, but your heart finds it hard. I know, I've been there too. I once cried out in my poverty, Lord, I have nothing to give you but these words. I love you, I love you, I love you. And I cried a lot. That's simply what it means to be human. Like Paul said, we instinctively try to earn God's love by doing something. But religious effort does not bring real growth. Instead, it often leads us to judge others by our own standards. So do not be trapped by the laws we invent for ourselves. Fight instead to be free of them. And above all, receive His love. He doesn't want to change you. He doesn't push you. He loves you as who you are. Next time in part 2, we will study Samson's thirst in Judges 15, and we will see what it means to thirst so deeply it feels like you could die and how to find healing in the spiritual realm. Read Judges chapter 15 ahead of time, and I will see you in the next video.